Yeah, there we go. You know what? Officer Toby, there's no pressure. That's a good act to follow right there, buddy.
So, I love Bud Lewis. And I'm a horrible crier. I'd like to probably just admit it. I'm the kind of guy that you don't want to sit next to in a movie. I'll be bawling big time, literally. And the kids know this so well. It's like Mary Poppins kills me. Sound of Music devastates me. And Pride and Prejudice breaks my heart. And then there's Fast and Furious.
Don't know anyone who
But what I'd like to do tonight is walk you through really my perspective on, see, there we go, the Sunshine Division. And I'd like to tell you a couple of stories that help make a connection for me. First one starts when I was a very new officer almost 20 years ago in Northeast Precinct. And I was assigned to the afternoon shift, and I had just been turned loose on my own. And as the officers here know, it's very important to have a very good reputation when you're on your own. People watch that. And so you try to take your calls as fast as possible, do a good job, and be safe. And so I was doing that this afternoon, or this particular afternoon. And it was call to call to call. And it was late evening, and I had probably 5 or 6 reports waiting to be written. And I got in my car, very worn out emotionally, and just kind of frustrated. And this call popped up on my computer. And at this time, the computers are kind of almost on the floorboard of the car, and they're very small. And so I had to kind of read it cryptically. And there are 2 words in this call that came up that kind of caught my eye. One was Sunshine Division, and the other one was Food Box. And I thought, well, what is Sunshine Division? And what have to do with Food Box? I was about to learn. And so there were some other calls also holding for me, and I decided to triage. And I thought, this looks like a really easy call. I remember seeing these boxes at the precinct that said Sunshine Division. I can probably figure this out. And so it was simply a person who wanted a box. And so I figured, I could probably knock this call out in 10 minutes flat. And I may have actually driven with lights and sirens back to the precinct. Union reps are here, so I'm safe. To get this box. And as I grabbed the box, I threw it in the back of my car. And as any good young officer does, he creates a tactical plan to resolve the call. And so my plan was to simply drive up there, sneak up to the door, put it on the porch, knock, and run away. Very good plan. And so that's exactly what I did. I approached the house very stealthily, walked up the door very carefully. And I was about to knock on the door, I heard a voice behind the door say, "Honey, is that box too heavy for you?" So I was actually about to set it down. And it caught me off guard and startled me. I almost fell off the porch backwards. But the door opened very slowly. So much for speed. And it revealed this very beautiful woman who'd been bent with years of age. And she had this most genuine smile on her face. And she invited me into her house. And I got to know her a little bit. And this call that I was planning on killing so quickly turned into a 30-minute visit. And I talked with her a little bit about her life, and she told me about her family. She had been on very limited income for a long time. She had been widowed for probably 25 years. She had her wall covered with pictures of her children and her grandchildren. And she asked me to help her put her food away. And it was very humbling because she recovered and it was like a bottle of vinegar, that was it. And she told me that it was barely that she gave everything else to her friends and her family and neighbors. And this really impressed me, really, I guess, etched a place in my heart. And it changed my entire perspective of police work. All because of a simple box of food. Okay, next story. It gets way worse. So, fast forward about 10 years. I was again assigned to Northeast Precinct, and I'd spent several years working in District 648, which is kind of the inner Northeast Portland area. had a lot of great times there, and it was time for me to move on and do something different. So I picked up a district that was further east in our precinct. And there is a kind of a nefarious bar there that I needed to get to know, and I visited it several times. It was like kind of like a deep fishing hole. You go there, you reel somebody in, take them to jail. It's a great place to work. I encountered a guy who was sleeping in his car. He had a white Chevy Caprice, about mid-90s-ish. And I thought, I need to go talk to this guy because he's in kind of a bad spot. So I knocked on his window. He rolled it down, and we talked for a little bit. And, you always try to assess somebody, kind of get a feel for what their intent is. And this guy was a really nice guy. And I felt for him a little bit. He told me he was a veteran, Vietnam-era guy. I talked a little bit about his family. We didn't really get to know each other, but the contact that we made. And so a few days later, here's these Golden Sunshine Division boxes. And grabbed a box, put them back in my trunk, and then I figured I was dropping by. He wasn't there. He was outside of his car. And I should add to this, he actually worked as a busser for the tavern. So he actually wasn't somebody who was just hanging out. He was trying to do the best he could. So I took this box and I stuck it under the driver's side of his car and I took off. And weeks passed. I thought really nothing of it. And we crossed paths from time to time because, again, I spent a lot of time there. So fast forward again. And I was driving by one night at this location, and I saw a couple people, and one of these people was on a water flyer in Mohawk, and I thought, my first kind of catch of the night. So I did a U-ball, parked in the parking lot, hopped out, and let dispatch know what I was doing. As soon as I got out, one person buzzed right into the bar and took off, and I thought, I'm not going to go after this person. It's not a very good place to go. The other person went across the street, and so cops, you kind of see something, you have to chase it. It's kind of hard not to. So this guy runs across the street, and I go running after him. I'm not really even sure why. But I caught up to him on a pickup truck, and the fight was on. And often, people run from us, they fight to get away. This guy's fighting pretty rough. And I didn't expect this. And we ran around to the other side of the car, and I grabbed him again. And what was interesting is that's all I remember. So I remember getting struck by something, whether it was elbow or there was a bunch of rubble in the back of the truck, I don't know. Then I remember falling like a sack of potatoes. And of course my head totally impacts this metal grate. And then next thing I know, I remember he's on my back and he'd actually taken my noggin and just crunched it into the grate. And as you can tell, it's kind of a bad spot for me. And again, this is a little fuzzy. I'm not quite sure how it all happened after that. You see this flash of light and it just kind of blows together. What I do remember very clearly, it's like fogging my glasses. I remember clearly is a voice that was different from the guy that was screaming and yelling at me and smacking my head. And then I remember these white tennis shoes and his white shirt, or his blue jeans. And I felt his weight lift off my back, and he said, "Get off him." And he helped me to my feet. I couldn't even see. I had blood in my eyes. My head was kind of dented in a little bit. Explained a lot about me. But he disappeared. And we ended up catching the guy. It worked out. And after the medics came and did their thing, I thought, I need to go find this guy. And I found him in the bar working, and it was the same guy. Same guy that I encountered weeks before. And I don't know, we became good friends afterwards. I don't know if this box had anything to do with it, to be honest. We never talked about it. We just really talked about him, and I learned more about him, I learned about his family, and all he really needed was just a little bit of help.
You're right, man, for the job.
I didn't ask for anything. And that's really, I guess, what Sunshine Division means to me. Boxes are great, the food is great, the clothing is great, but to a police officer, there's a way simply to build a bridge. That box of food is a stepping stone to a relationship, and that's why it's so important to me. And that's not all we do. Shop for Comp, what a great opportunity. As you know, our youth are had a vulnerable time. When they're teenagers, it's pulled by so many different outside forces. And to be able to meet with one of these kids face to face and take them shopping and help them to feel our concern, our care for them is, to me, it's a gift. So, I simply ask that if you feel something tonight, because really, it's all about feelings, that you would join us in any way you feel appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you, officer. At this point,